In this instructional video, I'm going to cover streaming data from Blade to MotionBuilder 2011 and retargeting to a character. You can either stream real-time data from Blade or offline data. In this case, I will be streaming from an HDF file. I will also be streaming from one computer to another. In order to do this, you must make sure the two computers are on the same network. You will need to enter the IP address of the machine streaming the Blade file into the Vicon plugin in MotionBuilder. On the Blade machine, you can see I have already loaded an HDF file. I will need to go to the Editor tab, Real Time, and check on Server Active and Stream Offline Data. If I were streaming real-time data and not from a file, I would only have the Server Active checked on. Now, over on the MotionBuilder machine, I've already installed the 2011 Vicon MotionBuilder plugin. I will go to the Asset Browser, Templates, Devices, click and drag the Vicon Stream plugin into the 3D perspective. You will immediately see the plugin GUI under the navigator. If I expand devices in the navigator, you will see Vicon Stream. The first thing I want to do is set the IP address of the machine streaming the Blade data. I know in this case the IP address is 10.10.10.11. If you have a beefier machine, you could also try running Blade and MotionBuilder on the same machine, and you would then type in localhost for the IP address. If I leave Stream All checked on, it will stream all of the VSKs from Blade. In this case, I have Gabby and Virtual Camera. If I only wanted to stream a certain VSK, I could uncheck Stream All, press Generate a New Optical Model to connect to the Blade stream, and select the VSK from the drop-down list here. I also have the choice to stream real-time bones, labeled markers, unlabeled markers, and unlabeled markers up to a certain quantity. If the data coming in is Z up, I will check this on, and I can enter the frame rate that I want to see the stream. In our case, in most typical cases, we want to just stream all of the VSKs that are loaded in Blade. We're not going to be using the markers, so I'll turn those off. And now I can just press Generate a New Optical Model, and we'll see both Gabby and the virtual camera's bones. If you do not see the bones, you may have a different view type in the 3D perspective. We can cycle through these by pressing the Control-A buttons to go through the different producers' perspectives. There is Models Only, which will not display bones. There is X-Ray, which will display the bones over the models. And then there is the regular view, which will show both, but keep the bones mostly hidden. Right now I have the file loaded, but not playing. If I go back over to the Blade scene and press play, the bones in MotionBuilder will start moving around. The next step is to characterize. I will need Gabby in a T-pose facing down the Z-axis for this. If I were actually streaming live data, I would have the actor or actors stand in a T-pose and face the Z-axis and then press this live button to take us offline so the actors could relax in the meantime and the bones are still in place for me to characterize. If I'm streaming from file, I would just need to scrub in Blade to a frame where the actor is in a T-pose. Now if I go to the Asset Browser, Templates, Characters, and I select Character, I can drag and drop this right onto the hips of my character's VSK. This is the root bone. A pop-up will display and you will select Characterize and Biped. Now in the navigator under Characters, you will see we have a character which I will rename to Gabby so things do not get clustered here. At this point, I will bring in the model to retarget to in real time. I already have one picked out that is a character from evolverpro.com. I will go to File, Merge, and browse to the FBX file I want to use. I will choose Merge Again. You may have to manually set some of these options depending on your character. You will see now that our character is loaded into MotionBuilder. Now if you want to scale your character down, I would suggest pressing Ctrl-W and select the top node of that character, then going back to the 3D perspective and scaling as you wish. In this case, we will also have to characterize the Evolver character. So we do the same steps as characterizing the Vicon skeleton. We go to Asset Browser, Characters, drag the character onto the hips of the Evolver character, select Characterize and Biped. Now if I go back to the Navigator, Characters, I can rename this character to be something like Alien Girl, which is what the character was originally named. I can double click on the Alien Girl name to see her character settings. I will change Input Type to Character Input and input source will automatically change to Gabby. If I had multiple Vicon skeletons loaded, I would be able to choose which Vicon skeleton I wanted to drive this character mesh. I will then choose Active and Match Source. If I play the file from Blade, you will see the Evolver character being driven by the Vicon skeleton. I can choose to hide the bones again by pressing Ctrl A. If I were doing this in a live setup, if you will remember, we had our actor stand in a T-pose and then we unchecked live. At this point, after changing the input type settings, we would then go back to the Vicon stream device and check live back on, and we would then be streaming live data. The next part of this will be to set up a virtual camera, which we will cover in the next video.